Hello and welcome to the Carib Royale Resort in Orlando. We're on the eve of the 31st edition of the BetOnline Mosconi Cup. I'm delighted to be joined by Mosconi Cup legends Jeremy Jones and Karl. Chaps, thanks for joining me. I know I've dragged you both away from the Hall of Fame dinner, so I'll keep this short and sweet. Firstly, I know you guys played a rehearsal rack in the arena. What are your thoughts?
First to three it was.
First to three, who won?
1-0 Europe, of course. Cheers for that. I'll give you that $10 later.
No worries.
Yeah. He got the best of
Yeah,
it.
no worries. Well, what's the arena look like, JJ? Give me an insight.
Well, it reminds me of the Superdome in New Orleans. There's not a bad seat in the house. It doesn't look like. I think with the lower ceilings, it's going to get awfully loud, and I think you're going to feel a lot of pressure in that room.
Not an empty seat in the house either. That atmosphere is going to be something special, isn't it?
Yeah, and just getting a little dab on that table, I think if nerves get high, that table can get really tough.
And Karl, you've obviously been there as well. You're no stranger to a hostile atmosphere in the Mosconi Cup. What are those Europe boys walking into tomorrow?
Yeah, I remember 2 years ago. I think the last two Mosconi Cups in America, the American fans have really brought it. You know, it's almost like they've been watching the European fans over the years and thought, you know, we need to sort of copy them and get on board. And I think the American fans' last two cups have been awesome. You know, I remember 2 years ago we was at the front of the table and Emma Payne, presenter, she was asking me questions. I couldn't even hear what she was saying.
Yeah.
That's how loud it was. So I expect no different. Obviously, you know, they've got Jason Shaw walking out. He'll egg the crowd on as well. He'll want that noise, and yeah, it's going to be very noisy.
And talking of bringing it, we've just wrapped from the press conference today. JJ, you were there as well. Great attendance of fans, weren't there, Karl? And the atmosphere really kicked off today. It feels like the Mosconi Cup's here. Loads of fighting talk. What do you make of Team USA and how they've sort of handled the press conference today?
Well, I think the press conference just kind of shows you they're raring to go. You know, they're ready to do it. I mean, I think they want to play now. Seems like a lot of them are eager. Some of them do it differently. You could see Billy, though, very, very eager. Couldn't keep his emotions in there, really. But yeah, it was a great press conference. I think it's just going to lead up and build up to a great Mosconi.
A good comment on Billy as well, actually. Clearly a fan favourite. I think he had one of the loudest receptions when he walked onto the stage. So, you know, I think not only is he going to bring the energy, but the crowd are clearly going to feed off his energy as well, aren't they?
Yeah, and I think that's how the Mosconi has gotten to where it's been, especially like Karl said, the last couple times here in America. We've gotten through to where the fans that really want to be here are the ones that are here, and then, you know, just more come after.
And Karl, you were stood with me by the side watching that as well. We knew we were going to get a fighting talk from Jason Shaw, but Clint Catchy, he come with some fighting talk, didn't he, today? Where was that at the Reyes Cup?
Yeah, I think that's the most I've ever heard him speak in the 10 years I've known him. You know what I mean? He was on fire, weren't he? And also Skylar Woodward was and all. You know, obviously he's a very likeable character. You know, pool players and amateur pool players around the world can relate to him because he's your typical guy who, you know, plays down the bar sort of thing through the week and whatnot. And I thought he brought it as well, but I think it was like probably the best press conference we've had. Obviously, even the press conference, like the Mosconi Cup, has been growing over the years. You know, a lot of fans were here watching it. It was a real good atmosphere. Obviously, a little bit of needle. They try and play off as a bit tongue-in-cheek, but there's a bit of needle there.
Gets a bit saucy, doesn't it, towards the end?
Yeah, obviously Jason likes it, doesn't he? He likes to sort of dive in. And I actually thought one of the best, funniest moments was when obviously Skylar's tried to, like, you know, give him a bit of grief about losing in the Reyes Cup, and he's going, oh, you've got Biardo, we've got Chua, we've got Yap. Who've we got here? Tyler Steyer. It's like, that was a proper dig, wasn't it?
Yeah, Tyler got caught straight there, didn't he? But, we obviously went through the lineups as well, so I want to get straight into it.
Yep.
We've adopted the format very similar to the Reyes Cup. Firstly, your thoughts on how that worked in the Reyes Cup. You're obviously captain. You know, we worked on it closely. What did you make of that format and how it's going to work for this week in Mosconi?
Yeah, I think the format's brilliant. I think, you know, when fans come in and fans votes and all these started coming in, you just got the feeling certain players were playing a lot more points. And when you got someone like Mickey Krause, who's a rookie, you know, he wants to feel part of the team, not like he's just sat on the sidelines. And you know, the fact now that everyone has to play a singles point before somebody's played two. Obviously, we've always had you can't play doubles with somebody more than once for a good few years now. And I just think having them extra 2 team points just means that, you know, you can bring the doubles matches down. There's only 6 singles now in the opening 3 days, so I think it's actually more of a team match now.
And JJ, you played in a bunch of Mosconi Cups over the years. Give me an idea of what that USA camp's going to be feeling like, walking out to that first team match particularly. You know, the nerves are going to be there. They're going to be buzzing. Is it a mixture of both?
Yeah, I think it'll be both. I mean, if you're not nervous, really, you're lying probably. I've played in a lot of them, and you know, the first setup for the team match, it being the first point of the Mosconi, you only play one game. You're hoping to get a shot. There's a lot of things that can go through your mind, right? You just gotta like any Mosconi, I think let it come to you and just see where they go from there.
Karl, I remember actually one time interviewing you, and you mentioned about the team match and how nervous it can make you. Sometimes when you've been there, you've actually hoped your opponent runs out so you don't have to take a shot. Is that sometimes how the pressure can get to you in those team matches?
Yeah, I remember, I think we were playing in Vegas, and I was playing Johnny Arch, and he broke off, cue ball got kicked in. I was like, oh God, I wish that didn't happen. I was hoping to get a break and run, you know what I mean? Get me out in the doubles later. But, it's obviously, it's very nerve-wracking. You're not just playing for yourself, you're playing for, other teammates. There's obviously a big crowd there. There's so much around it, so much media attention. And, we obviously praise players when they're playing well, and having good seasons. But, obviously when players are having a bit of a mare, we go hard on them as well. And it's not easy.
Yeah, and it starts off every day of the team match too.
Yep.
So I mean that dynamic alone, you get a little taste before you get out there by yourself or in a big doubles match. So it can kind of set the tone for your mind each day.
Yeah, and if you look back over the years at the team points, even at the Reyes Cup, that was 5-4. It always seems to be 5-4 or 5-3, doesn't it? So it offers a lot of good surprises, does that team point?
Yeah, and then straight on to doubles matches. We've got Billy Thorpe back in action for the first time in 4 years. He's going out with his close buddy and team captain Skylar Woodward.
Yep.
They take on Jason Shaw and David Alcady, the two experienced older guys in the team. And also Jason revealed that David's kind of been his right-hand man this week, which I wouldn't have really expected, to be honest, but I get, given his experience, he would. But
yeah, I mean, obviously he's the oldest player in the team. He's played in a few now. He's, super nice guy. Not really sort of thought much about, the team sheet, because obviously it was carnage, with all the pressure going on. But I feel like if when I look back at the Reyes Cup, I feel like when I picked day one, looking back, because obviously it's the same team, the same lads, I sort of played it like how everybody thought on paper. Shaw's, gone the complete opposite way. I think it's a smart move. Little surprised he's not playing singles himself on day one. He's took a bit of a gamble. He's gone with a rookie who's not played in this. The Reyes Cup were completely different. Let's not be naive. The crowd's nothing like what this is going to be.
Yeah.
So he's gone rookie, and then he's gone Catchy. Catchy was having a mare in the Reyes Cup, so he's obviously putting a lot of pressure on Catchy going out there. I know he's got the doubles match first, but he's playing that last singles match first. So it's sort of I get it, but it's kind of brave. But if you look at the team sheet of America, I think Skylar's picked it very smart.
And we know Sky, what he brings to the Mosconi Cup. Do you think he's gone with Billy, one, because he's his close friend, but two, in a way to ease him back into the Mosconi Cup rather than put him out in the singles?
I think it could have gone a number of ways. I think he could have had a talk with Billy and say, hey, what do you think? And what Billy's going to say, whatever you want, Cap.
Yeah.
But I think it made that doubles, because they're comfortable guys together, and that doubles is going to happen. I think that doubles may have been orchestrated behind putting Federer and Shane together in a doubles later, and then you put Tyler in a solid spot that he's been in before. So I think it's going to be a good matchup, though. And I think the thing with David is FSR struggled at the Reyes. Kachi's been struggling a little bit because, that time off. And then you got a rookie. So who else are you going to lean on for the guy who's your right-hand man? That's David, really, overall. The other guys, you let them just do their own thing to get in gear.
Yeah. And then match 3, we've got Tyler Steyer up against Mickey Kraus. Obviously, they said that they're close friends. Mickey, in his debut in the Mosconi Cup, he admitted himself as well, it's going to be totally different to the Reyes Cup, isn't it?
Yeah, it's such a big point, isn't it? Because obviously, we're not saying they're the weakest players by any stretch, but when you look at sort of big titles and things like that, and on paper, it's sort of maybe so. Obviously, great players. So obviously, you've got Tyler, who's he's won big points. He's played in that arena, and obviously Mickey. But I think when that got announced, I think as a rookie, Mickey Kraus will have been pleased to see Tyler's name on the sheet, really. I
will say though, Tyler's already started Mosconi Cups quite strongly, hasn't he?
Yeah,
so that could go USA's way quite easily, couldn't it?
Well, you said it today, didn't you, JJ? After you said, "Oh, you were going to do the same last year, but you didn't." Now I've been captain. I always used to think, well, it's pretty easy. You just freaking pick the name, don't you? And I know hindsight's a wonderful thing, but I feel like I certainly made decisions where it weren't my instinct. I sort of backtracked and JJ said, "Oh, yeah,
I overthought it almost."
Yeah, and tried to play it too safe. That's where Jeremy, he said, "Oh, I was going to put Tyler out the singles last year, but I didn't." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I went with Tyler and SVB instead after that team match. So.
Right, and then match 4, we've got Fedor Gorst, the world champion, world number 1, with Shane Van Bonen, taking on Eklan Kachi and Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. Before we get into the match, just a word on Shane Van Bonen, someone you know very well over the years, being inducted to the Hall of Fame this year. Great moment for a great man, right?
Yeah, we all knew it was coming right when he turned 40, and it's going to be one of the true special nights, along with, of course, Mike Pinoza and Mark Griffin being inducted as well, and just three guys that had so much impact in the game.
And also, Shane's going to be making his record 18th consecutive Mosconi Cup appearance, Karl, starting way back when in 2007 was his first one. So, yeah, 18 years later, he's still in the team, still playing.
Yeah, crazy, really, when you think about it, his longevity and whatnot. Obviously, he's had some big moments in the Mosconi Cup. He's made the winning 9 and whatnot. It's not easy playing, obviously, Team Europe, obviously. They've always seemed to got a sort of stacked team, so that's why he's probably not won more than maybe he should have. But at the end of the day, 18 Mosconis is some feat.
So Skyler's put him out with the world champion Fedor Gors taking on Kachi and Francisco Sanchez. JJ, what do you make of that matchup?
Well, you got to put the Americans as a small favorite in the short race. Something longer, the odds may be a little different at the moment, but I think it's going to come down to breaks and opportunities. I don't see the Americans, for some reason, making any mistakes in that match. I just feel like it's going to be a real high-quality match from those two to start their campaign. But you never know. Nineball's a funny game.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. When I look at the European team, I'm only basing this off what happened at the Reyes.
Which wasn't that long ago.
No, and obviously it weren't a good performance, was it, by Team Europe? I just look at it and think, I get why Jason's done it, because obviously it didn't really work at Reyes, but obviously it was 3-2 to Asia after day one, so it was close. But there's going to be a lot of heat on Catcher.
Yeah.
He knows how bad he played at the Reyes, so it's all right saying he actually said after the Reyes, I won't miss a single ball at the Mosconi. It won't happen. He will.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to miss balls out there. It's brutal. So there's a lot of pressure on him because he's playing the doubles with Ruiz, who played poor at the Reyes, really poor. And then obviously he's going straight back on for the singles.
Do you think Jason will have a pivotal role there in between racks going out, trying to sort of calm them if any moments do happen, a twitch, a missed ball, that sort of thing? Because, we know the guys well, they're not the biggest characters themselves. I can't imagine them riling each other up, calming each other down. But I think Jason will have to go and do that, right?
Yeah, I think obviously what Jason's done is he's decided not to play himself in singles on day one. So if you look at the other captain, Skyler, he's on, listen,
he's backed it.
I'm backing myself. I'm going to go out there, win the point, and sort of hope to kick his players on, sort of thing. So I get both sides, but obviously I think this year when you look at it, it could be so tight. It really could.
And that leaves us with the finals match, Skyler Woodward versus Eklen Kachi. Every match is huge, but that really could be huge going into the final match, right?
Yeah, massive match, because obviously, like we said, Kachi really struggled sort of, not just at the Reyes, the sort of last half of the season. He decided not to play US Open because he'd already qualified for the teams and whatnot. He's struggled since he come back. He played poor in Hanoi. Obviously, Skyler's decided, I'm captain, get me on that last match.
And that crowd are going to be like a sixth man for Skyler, aren't they? You just know it, don't you?
Yeah, and you never know what the score is at that moment. It's only day one. You can't lose the cup, but you can certainly make a nice statement and a nice, easy way to go to bed. That's for sure.
100%. I'm going to put you both on the spot. 100%. I'm going to put you both on the spot and then let you go. Score predictions after day one, Karl.
I'm going to go 3-2 USA.
Yeah,
JJ?
I like the same.
3-2.
Yeah, I like the same. 3-2.
So obviously it's going to be
5-0 1. I'll let you guys go. There's nothing more to do but play. Action starts from tomorrow live, 1 p.m. local, 6 p.m. Sky Sports, on DAZN, on Sky Sports. Head to Matchroom Pool for the full broadcast list and we will see you there.